4-girl formula. So there you
Go
go.
ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl.
It's the 4-girl formula.
Do that.
And usually I think you have a leader. Then you have like the kind of sexy one or the sex symbol one. Then you have the ditz or the dizzy one. And then I think there's always like a quirky one. Either somebody with something quirky. We'll see if the formula comes true. Do you think I have this 4-girl formula right or pretty close or no?
Yes, I think this formula is pretty close. The leader, the sexy one, the dick. The
I said the
quirky
quirky
one
one because sometimes you got one that's just a far field, and they might be the comic relief, or they might be, I didn't want to call them the dizzy one, but they might be the one with the sarcastic like one-liners. So
yeah,
I
or
just
the
put
smart
the
one,
quirky one.
or the smart one.
Is that the smart one? Sometimes it is a smart one, but
Yeah,
sometimes the smart one is
the
like
smart
the
one.
leader.
The leader is not always the smart one.
Well,
The leader is the leader. The smart one is okay. Oh,
now
227. Okay, you did get that one.
227 you had on here, and I this didn't strike me as following the 4-girl formula. Like it didn't register with me right away. So
Okay.
who
Oh,
are the
well,
4 girls?
listen.
Explain it to me, and then I'll see if it fits
I've
my
never seen an
formula.
episode of 227, but I put this on the list recently because your mother told me to.
Did she even watch the show? So you could have.
She said she's watched the show. She said that Marla Gibbs, Jack Kay, the older lady in the front, and the lady in the green, they were the 4 friends.
Oh, okay.
And that was the whole.
Oh, okay. I see. So
Jack
Jack
Kay
Kay would be
plays
the sexy one.
Anyways, well, she was the sexy one. Marla Gibbs is probably the leader.
Probably the leader.
I never watched the show. I don't know. But your mother told me, just like she told me, put Steel Magnolias on the movie list.
You know what? That's what I was going to say. That's why I'm glad we're starting with the TV list. And if we go into the TV list, because to me, the movie list was missing Steel Magnolias. I started to add it. And then
But
I was
Steel
like,
Magnolias is about 6 different women.
but there's 4 women at like the heart of it.
That's what your mother said.
And like, even though, how did you get 6 women? Even though Julia Roberts is the 5th woman. And I was thinking about that too, because the one play that I did was written by the same people who wrote Steel Magnolias, and also I believe worked on The Golden Girls, were the same writers behind it, wrote the Dixie Swim Club. And I know I did that, and that was around these 4 women. And it very much was reminiscent of the language of like Steel Magnolias and that play, which I've done that play as well, getting to play Weezer. But even though there are other women in it, it's still around those 4 friends. So yeah, I would definitely have put. So when we do the movie list, and maybe we can come back to that list next week, Steel Magnolias is going on. I'm dropping it in.
So next we have It's a Living.
I remember the show vaguely, but I don't remember. See, and I was looking at this picture, and it's like, it's more than 4 girls, so it's not really the 4-girl formula.
Yeah, it's not really. It is. The picture I see, you pulled this picture up. The picture I pulled up was only 4.
And I'm having a hard time. I remember what was her name? Ann Jillian was in it. So I guess she would be the sexy one. I guess Barry Goodfellow, I think that's her name, would be the leader. But see, I don't remember all the other characters. I think the one with the dark hair is probably the ditz.
One, because after she did It's a Living, I think that's when she did Mr. Mom, and she was a sexy single mom on that one.
On who? Mr. Mom?
Yeah, and
there was a TV show called Mr. Mom.
No, she was in the movie Mr. Mom.
That was Terry Garr.
Yeah, that was Terry Garr. But one of the other neighbors, the lady that was coming on to him, was Ann Jillian.
Was Ann Jillian? Right. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember she was in Mr. Mom.
Okay, but let's go with this one. Let's see what we're going with this one. Designing Women.
You know what? I think I moved that one because I felt that one should be a little further up in the list. So I think I moved it. The
Wow.
next one I had was Paper Girls, which I actually tried to watch the premiere of this. I couldn't get into it, but maybe you can enlighten me. What was it about, and what was
Well,
it
I
like?
saw the whole series and I loved it, and I
It was
can't wait
what?
to do hopefully they do a season 2. But these are 4 girls who did not know each other. They were all paper girls, and I'm trying to remember. One was they traveled through time. They traveled to the future,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them in the future is dead, and one of them is gay. And she doesn't. She's a kid, so she doesn't know this is what's going to happen. These are 4 girls who saw what their future was going to be like, but they were little girls with different personalities, and the personalities kind of stayed as they became older.
Okay.
Some of them changed, and no particular one was the leader in this one. They were all quirky because they were little girls.
So they didn't follow
But
the
one was
archetypes.
the one who winds up, not finding herself because she's dead. She was like a tomboy.
Okay.
The other one of them, whose adult self was the actress. Who was that actress? The Asian actress, who I know her name too, so I'm tip my tongue. She was just in the news. Anyway, the comedian. She was.
We gotta say shout out to Deja, who's in a loud
Deja.
place and can't listen, but wanted to weigh in on the formula. Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to weigh in either next week or the following week, because we had to split the formula up. We're doing TV today, and we'll do movies maybe next.
All right, you know what?
But
I'm
again,
gonna call it foul.
my
I'm gonna
formula:
call it foul.
the leader, the ditz, the sexy one, and then the quirky one. But again, the Paper Girls was I was going to say Netflix, but it was actually
It was on Prime.
Amazon Prime. So
It was on Amazon.
I might go back and try to watch that
It's
again.
it's a very good show. It's kind of sci-fi, but it's very good. The one is a leader. There is one that's kind of the leader, and that's the one in the front with the white bag. She was kind of the leader.
Mm-hmm.
The one in the back with the short haircut is the one that's kind of like a tomboy. The one behind the girl with the white bag, she was the one that was like the rich girl that had her future all figured out and wound up, being gay. And I kind of forget the black girl storyline. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, well, Paper Girls, again, because I haven't seen it, and again, according to Kenny, it doesn't really follow the formula, but he put it on the list anyway. We go to our next one, which is Girlfriends, and I bumped this one up because I was hoping that you could kind of inform me and tell me more about the show, because I never really watched it, so I don't know.
I didn't really watch Girlfriends. I thought you watched Girlfriends.
No, I didn't watch Girlfriends, so I don't know if it follows the formula, or I couldn't even tell you what it's about or whether it's funny or not. But I figured
I think it was pretty funny.
But I figured if we did a show called 4Girl Formula and you do the list, you would actually, see if they fit. You just pick all shows with 4 girls.
That's my bad. Not all of them. Some of them I didn't pick.
Okay. All right.
You skipped a couple though.
I know. I think I was trying to move one around, and some of the other ones got shuffled. So they might not be in order.
What do you got next?
Oh, well, I'd have to click the slide and see. I
All right, let's
don't
click
know.
I don't know what's going on.
It's going to be a mystery. We'll just have to see what happens. We'll just
Deja,
click the
Deja,
slide.
I know who you are, and you're not supposed to be on your phone.
And see what. Would you say?
Deja, I was talking to Deja. I know who she is, and she's not supposed to be on her phone.
Uh-oh. Shame.
Get off your phone. That ain't right.
Get
We're
off
gonna
the
talk about
phone.
this tomorrow.
All right, let's see what I put next.
Hot in Cleveland.
Hot in Cleveland. Now,
Have you
Hot
ever
in
seen this
Cleveland, I
one?
have seen a couple times.
Okay.
So does it follow the formula?
It does.
I think it does, but I'm not sure who the ditz is, who the dizzy one is.
Would that be Betty White?
It could be, but
Because I've seen a couple of skits from this, and it seems like Betty White always has like the funny.
See, I was going to mark her as the quirky one, and I didn't know whether I would have Jane Leeves as the ditz. I don't know.
And Valerie Bertinelli would be the leader.
She would be the leader, and I don't know whether or would Jane Leeves be the sexy. I don't know whether there was a sexy one on this one. Next up is designing women. Now this fits the formula, right?
Okay, I can't remember all. I used to watch this because I used to like. I used to like when the older lady that was a friend of theirs would go, "Black man," and it used to crack me up. Go ahead.
Well, you had Delta Burke. I think she was the sexy one, which is actually different because usually they make the sexy one the blonde, but she wasn't blonde. But I think she would be the sexy one. The leader would be, oh gosh, I can't remember her character's name now. Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember, but the one in front in blue.
Yeah. And I think the dizzy one would be Jean Smart, would be the ditz. And I think Annie Potts would be the quirky one. So this is perfect 4-girl formula. Boom. It checks all the boxes.
It does.
Checks all the boxes. So this follows the 4-girl formula. You got your leader, Queen Latifah. You got your sexy one, Regine or Kim Fields, which Tootie. Hello. You got your dizzy one, and that was Kim Coles. And your quirky one, and that was Maxine. So and what was Kim Cole's character? Khadijah, Regine, Maxine, and I can't think of the fourth one.
I was just watching it too, and I can't think of her name. But you know, she played that ditz really well.
Probably the grandmother of them all.
Golden Girls fit the formula, didn't it?
Golden Girls fit the formula. Probably helped make the formula because again, you had Blanche, who was the leader. You had Rose Nyland, who was the ditz. You had, I'm sorry, not Blanche. Blanche was the sex symbol. Rose was the ditz. B. Arthur. I can't think of her character's name.
I can't think of what her character's name was. She was the leader.
She was the leader. And then, of course, her mother, played by Estelle Getty, was the quirky one. So
yes, she was very quirky.
So that's kind of the
I like the scene where she was in bed with Ray Charles.
What?
You didn't see the scene where she was in bed with Ray Charles?
No.
Yeah. I swear it was Ray Charles. She was in bed with Ray Charles.
That's too funny. But Sex in the City. Now, I haven't watched the new show, but because I'm sorry, it was perfect the way it was. Granted, they did bring it back for 2 movies, but which they were all right. To me, the movies weren't anything that special. But this definitely follows the 4-girl formula.
Some things are better left alone.
Yeah, some things you need to just leave it be, leave it sit. And when we talk about the last show, that's one thing they agreed to do, but then they fell back on it. But Sex in the City, I guess you could say Sarah Jessica Parker was the leader. Samantha, definitely the sexy one. I think Charlotte was a bit of the dizzy one. If you could, yeah. For that group, she was, because sometimes she would do some very airheaded things. And then Cynthia Nixon playing, I guess, the quirky one. But because she was the one that would come in with some of the zingers and one-liners, although they all had some pretty funny lines. And it was pretty, I thought it was a pretty good show, and I enjoyed it. But I know at one point, I think E Network got the rights to it, and they would show
Yeah.
it late at night, but they would show a very edited version of it because, on the HBO version, there was Sex in the City, and just about everybody in the cast at some point in time was naked or nearly naked, but not Sarah Jessica Parker so much.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, Cynthia Nixon and I think Kim Cattrall, they were like, "Up, let's get naked, go for it."
Yeah, look, listen. Like I told you last week, Kim Cattrall had me at Porky's. Okay?
Fan since Porky.
If I ever get married again, she's gonna be on my what's that list they call the pass list or the let you pass list? She would be on my pass list. Kim Cattrall,
Okay.
man.
All right.
I watched
I don't know what's more egregious, the idea of you getting married or the idea that you would even bother to come up with this free pass list.
yeah. Well, look, man.
I'm sorry.
Kim Cattrall was also in How I Met Your Father.
I didn't see
She
that.
was How I Met Your Father and they're not doing it anymore, but Kim Cattrall was the older version of the person telling the story.
Oh, okay.
So this one they did two different actresses to be the same person, and Kim Cattrall was the older one. But Kim Cattrall,
yeah, this is
I'm
what
just
I base
glad-
the formula on. I base the formula on the facts of life because, again, it just is. And again, I'm making Joe the leader, Blair the sexy one, Tootie a bit of the dizzy one, and Natalie the quirky one. The facts of life. It's the best.
Really?
Now, they were a show that said that they were not going to come back and do a reunion or reboot or remake, but then I guess money got tight and they lied because they did come back, although I think Joe didn't come back because they did do
well, that was
a
a one-shot
reunion
movie
movie.
when they came back.
I'm sorry, what you say?
That was a one-shot movie they did when they came back.
Yeah, they did a one-shot movie, but they had initially said when the series ended that they would not bring.
Well, you know what? You can't go by that because that show has changed at least 3 times during its run.
That's true.
So at first they were all in the school and it was like a whole bunch of girls. Then they put it down to the 4 girls and they were working in the cafeteria and they were living all together in a certain spot in the school. And then they got out of school and now Mrs. Garrett is running a store somewhere and they're all still living together in the store above the so they keep changing it as they got older, which would make sense, but still,
Yeah.
But I would put Tootie down as the quirky one,
Oh, okay.
and I would make Natalie the funny one. Because Natalie always had these one-liners and she would just come in with these singers all the time.
That's
And
true.
Tootie was this chick that roll around
But
and
see,
skate
that's the
all
role
over.
sometimes of the quirky one is to get that ball of sarcasm. I put Tootie as the dizzy one because usually she is the one that is always, because she was the youngest one, that's always kind of catching it late. Like,
Yeah, she
you
did.
know. So that's why I had her as, because she always is like just a hair behind everybody. And, but again, still got your 4-girl formula. It's
Look,